Your favorite segment is back. I'm joined by Paolo, Uggetti, and Keely Eure for Agree or Disagree. So, guys, let's get right into it. USC has won their last 2 games after starting 1-3. And so, simply put, Clay Helton is still on the hot seat. Agree or disagree?
Okay, I'm definitely going to have to go with agree.
Wow, okay.
But the hot seat is a little less hot. It's cooler. But I think that's due in part to making the quarterback change to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is kind of acting like a big Band-Aid for some other poor coaching decisions that are still going on.
I think with being at USC, a first-year head coach, he's always going to be kind of in not an interim status literally, but you're always kind of seeing how he's going to prove himself. And with a new AD, you never know. Things are up in the air. The seat is always going to be warm, I think. But I also think that because of the change he made from Sam Darnold from Max Brown to Sam Darnold, that is kind of hurting him and helping him at the same time. You know, he can't disassociate himself from the fact that he made the wrong choice at the beginning of the season. So the success that comes from now on is good for the team, but for him, it's kind of an indictment on his errant decision.
Exactly. That's why it's a Band-Aid. Who knows what the record would be, how Sam would have done against Utah if he had all that time to prepare and beat the starter.
Yeah, I mean, Sam obviously has played really well the last 2 games, despite having 3 turnovers. So he's really provided that spark that Coach Helton said he wanted. When you named the starter, he said, I need a spark from the offense, and Sam has given him that spark. So with how well Sam has been playing, do you agree or disagree with the idea that USC should still be a run-first team? Because that's what Clay Helton seems to want.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to say disagree.
A little of both?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Okay,
because in theory, they should be a run-first team. You know, they have a loaded backfield with Justin Davis and Ronald Jones, and they have explosive backs who can take the load and really lead this offense. But with how Sam's been playing, I think that you can't be stubborn and sticking to a scheme if what's working is your quarterback, and he's leading the offense. He's giving them the spark you want. And so I think with USC, they can't. I mean, they can go into the game and approach it as a run-first team, but they can't really get stuck within that if the game changes or if they need to make an adjustment. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, this is why I said disagree, because I feel like sometimes Helton really forces it. I don't know if that naturally goes with how this team works, especially now that Justin Davis, we don't know when he's going to come back with that high ankle sprain. You know, Rojo's been having trouble getting going. You have guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, maybe a Dorian Jackson. Helton said he wants a Dorian Jackson on offense. He wants that spark. So why not air it out to these receivers that are really good and then use your running backs as a secondary?
Yeah, I mean, they have been really good. USC has just been extremely explosive the last 2 games, and they're really starting to get it rolling. They've clawed their way back into the Pac-12, so USC will win the Pac-12 South. Agree or disagree?
I definitely disagree with this one.
All right.
So after the Utah game, Helton said that was one of the lowest points of his coaching career so far. And I think every game since that, it gets even worse because, you know, they beat ASU. They beat Colorado. There's not really a Pac-12 South opponent left that they can't beat. So now Utah is just that big glaring error on the schedule. And you can tell he really wants that game back. And, of course, they do because now they need help from Utah.
Simply put, they're going to need way too much help. Utah needs to lose twice, and they need to win out for them to have a chance at the Pac-12 South. And I think that with USC, you never know what you're going to get from week to week. You never know how they're going to perform, how they're going to show up, if they're going to show up. So it's hard to predict the fact that they're going to win the Pac-12 South. Yeah, these 2 wins are nice, but they need a whole revamping of their team for us to really put our faith in them and say they're going to win the Pac-12 South.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because Utah plays Arizona State and Colorado in some of the last weeks of the season, so it's going to come down to the end. But it's all the time we have. Thank you for joining me, guys. One thing we can all agree on is that USC needs to keep winning if they want to keep this streak alive, and they're going to have to attempt to do so in Tucson on Saturday.